At the Eric and Rodney show, we do whatever the fuck we
Reed
want.
Hoffman don't sign our checks. No, sir.
That's right, baby. Speaking of LinkedIn, welcome LinkedIn Live in America to the Eric and Rodney show with Robin. It's presented by, hold on, when does this gimmick get old? I'm already tired of it. Presented by the Eric and Rodney show with Robin. Listen, do you ever want to come on this show? You know what you should do? You should fill out an application where we'll consider it. And you'll probably be on. We have very low standards. Go to the ericandrodneyshow.com. Then when you're on our show, you're going to go, holy shit, I should be on other shows. We can book you on 1 million shows. That sounds like a lot, but it's a real number. Probably I haven't counted. Then you're going to go, I was so good on this show. I was so good on those shows. I need my own show. But how will I edit it, produce it, and post it? Oh, I don't know. Oh, yes, I do. Go to the ericandrodneyshow.com. Get yourself a nice show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a very special guest who managed to show up here on time. She's available and ready for the interview. Holy shit. Denise, welcome to the show. Oh, my God.
Welcome to Denise. Yesterday, we had someone who didn't know how to click on a link. So, and he apparently is a podcaster from what I've been told. I'm curious if he's podcasting from the computer, though.
I'm not sure. Yeah,
or somewhere else.
This newfangled technology.
Maybe from the radio.
From the ocean, clams, the ocean.
Yeah.
We'll never know because he didn't make it onto the show. I would have loved to. Denise, so we're going to get into the evening gown portion later in the show. But before we do that, what we like to do here on the Eric and Rodney show with Robin is talk about the news, because America demands our opinions on the news. They go, well, how could I live if I don't know what these guys think about the goddamn news? So that's what we do. But before we get to that, every day in this country, some reason to celebrate, some reason to get excited. I'm going to preface this with, on the show, famously atheistic. I do not believe in a deity, but sometimes things happen that make me question my own beliefs. I go, there has to be a God if things like this work out. You're never going to believe what today is. Holy shit, it's month of the overseas Filipino.
What? There's a day for us. I feel so special.
Apparently a month.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, it's entire month.
Now, Denise, I don't know if you know this, but our dear friend Robin here is an overseas Filipino. So the fact that it's overseas Filipino month feels like maybe there's some script. Maybe my fate is predestined.
Well, the problem is I have to go overseas first before I'm celebrated. I
was very disappointed to read that what they're referring to is people like you leaving the Philippines and sending your money back. But to us, you are an overseas Filipino. So
that is true.
In a good way, because that means you're going to celebrate you.
That's right. We're celebrating you. And I wanted to know, since this show has an overseas Filipino, how many other people have overseas Filipinos and where are they going? So I don't know if you know this about your people, but you were scattered far and wide. The United States gets the most overseas Filipino at 3.5 million. Saudi Arabia, you guys are flooding the Saudi Arabians. That's fun.
Interesting.
Let me guess. 90% of these are Filipino nurses.
It bears out that that's probably the case. Yes, but I have good news for you. They are sending back an astronomical fund every year. Overseas Filipinos send back $32 billion into your economy.
Wow.
My mom is part of the statistic, by the way. She's
Did you say 32 billion?
32 billion. But the gangs still don't have shoes. What are you doing with all this money?
Didn't you say earlier that Elon Musk had lost 40 billion?
Yes, he's lost even about the same amount as they're sending back. If there's an advent calendar, I'm getting one. I can't believe you industrious Filipinos.
Yeah, we're a large group.
Some of you don't go very far. You go to Malaysia, Singapore, but man, Canada.
You guys got you know what? Here's what you got to do. You got to meet up with that group of caravan, remember, of rapists and murderers.
No, don't do that. Stick with the nursing.
No, I'm just wondering because I know they were on their way here. They still on their way?
It's a very long walk. The hordes of rapists are.
Where did they end up at?
They're taking their time. I
imagine they're in the middle of the desert and they're like, guys, whose phone? What? How did we get here?
Here's the difference though between us and them is Filipinos come off as very non-threatening.
No, I mean you're adorable. I would never be afraid of you.
Help people.
Yeah. If what about the robbers that got you? Were you afraid?
Oh, I was. To be fair, yeah.
If you were behind me at an ATM, I wouldn't even cover my password. I would give you a hug. I would want to cradle you. You're a little adorable. Johnny Depp looking motherfucker. I just can't get enough of you, Robin. And I'm so someday I hope that you're one of the 3.5 million Filipinos that comes over here. I would welcome you with open arms.
He'll be the 677.
That's your number. we're gonna tattoo it on your arm. Is that too far? Anyway, so there's also it was Overseas Filipino Day month, whatever it is. But I didn't want to mention there's a lot of food-based ones. It's also Eat a Red Apple Day. I have a lot of strong feelings about apples. I think we are in the golden age of apple. I say a lot of times we're in the golden age of alcoholism because our beer and liquor has never been better. I think we're the golden age of cuisine. I just think food is unfucking believable these days. And apples are, I don't know what the apple situation is in the Philippines, but we have so many goddamn different kinds of apples and they're fucking tremendous. Some of these I've never had. Jazz, by the way, has that made the list? I wrote down my favorites. Jazz, Pink Lady, and Fuji. Have you guys had a Jazz, Pink Lady?
Pink Lady is my favorite. I
had a Pink Lady last night. Unbelievable.
I also like Granny Smith.
Granny Smith, you know what? A Granny Smith peanut butter combination? Goddamn delightful.
Yeah, that's when I enjoy it, actually. How'd you know? Are you in my kitchen? He's inside my kitchen.
I've been in your basement for 3 months and you haven't noticed. I'm very quiet. It's just the blow dryer. Okay.
Quiet, no way.
What's that?
I said quiet, no way.
No, I'm a little, just the hair dryer wakes him up in the morning sometimes, but I blame it on the pipes.
Yeah. I'm like, that's Hefe again, the husky. He's blow dried his hair.
Getting his bouffant ready. Alex, I'm glad you brought up Honeycrisp because I love Honeycrisp. But from what I did some research, Cornell University created their own apple. It's called the Snapdragon, but it was born of a Honeycrisp. So if Cornell is improved on the Honeycrisp, I need to get my hands on this apple. Holy shit. Can you believe it?
I'm glad to see Cornell is tackling the tough stuff.
There's still war, famine, disease, climate change. There's all kinds of problems.
They're like cancer research or make the Honeycrisp better.
Fuck that noise. You know what we need is a better Honeycrisp. And
get the team in here.
I agree with them. Robin, have you ever had any of these apples? What do you got? You just have one. You get a Red Delicious. Those things are fucking disgusting.
Yeah, we have two. It's red and green. We don't have all this stuff. What? Don't you even have like a cotton candy flavored apple?
Yes.
We have cotton candy flavored
grapes. Have you had the gumdrop grapes? They taste like those gumdrop things.
No, all I've had is cotton candy and something else. Oh, what they're doing with grapes is unbelievable. Wait till they get on licorice. No, get the fuck out of here. Stop it. You have
licorice is good.
You have licorice grapes.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? What I always like to do when I pick up one of these treasures is I like to say to the person, and I always like to find an older person who really knows what I'm talking about, and I'm like, are these GMO? Or no, these are. And they're like, one guy was like, "Are you crazy?" And I'm like, "So," and I'm like, "I'm messing with you, obviously." And they're always like, "Yeah."
There was a time period like 10 years ago. I used to buy these things called grapples or graples. I don't know, but they were fucking delightful. And then I was like, oh my God, science has mixed an apple with a grape. But as it turns out, they were just spraying grape flavored shit on top of an apple. And those went away, unfortunately. But a science could mix those two together. Have you guys had a pluot? Have you had pluots? 3/4 plum, 1/4 apricot. Goddamn delightful.
What do they call the mix between a peach and an apricot? But those are also really good. I think it was a nectarine.
Oh, a nectarine. You've never had a nectarine? Oh,
I have. But that's why I'm mentioning it because it tastes delightful. But we'll never get one in the Philippines.
Yeah, fuck the fuzz. But you
have you ever
that could grow this shit?
Yes. Have you guys ever seen a dog that's crossed with a bulldog and a Shih Tzu?
No, what's it called? Could you explain what is that? Is that a Snapdragon or a cosmic person?
That's a bullshit.
Oh, bullshit.
There it is. That's right.
All right. I guess you guys want to move on to Henry Kissinger? Did you hear he died? But listen, one more time. Thank you for everything that you and your people do, Robin. I don't think you should just get a month. I think it should be the whole year. I celebrate you the entire year.
Thank you. Now I'm going to ruin it by giving my controversial takes in the news.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You got some controversial takes on Henry Kissinger? What are you?
I don't know if it's controversial.
Who's Harry Kissinger?
Yeah, it's Henry.
I said Henry.
Robin said Harry.
He did say Harry.
Oh, I did? I
Bobby Kissinger died, Robin.
See, I'm already messing it up. Okay.
Ricky Kissinger.
Oh, not Ricky. Fuck. I can't go on with the show. Guys, you're going to have to take it from here. I had no idea.
Wrong dead guy.
Jeez. All right, what happened to Harry Kissinger, Robin?
I messed up the stories. Okay. So prior to this article, this name meant nothing to me because I'm an ignorant Gen Z. But this is one reason why I love doing the show, is because I get to learn and educate. So the name I'm talking about is Henry Kissinger. He passed away at 100 years old, and he was the U.S. Secretary of State who is said to play an instrumental role in creating the post-World War II world order. So following his passing, he's earned praise from a lot of world leaders, including Vlad Putin and Xi Jinping, who say that he's an outstanding diplomat and that America no longer has diplomats like Kissinger's class. So to the rest of the world, though, Kissinger is viewed as controversial because he turned a blind eye to war crimes committed by American allies. To be fair, and this might sound controversial, but I don't really know if this is the case, I think the job description of diplomacy and being a diplomat is you need to compromise with lesser evils to keep diplomacy diplomatic. What do you guys think?
Well, his death count is so first of all, I'm woefully ignorant when it comes to the war crimes of Henry Kissinger, but I will do as a public service announcement. This was the Rolling Stones article. Henry Kissinger, war criminal beloved by America's ruling class, finally dies. It is in the good riddance section of Rolling Stone. This thing is a fucking takedown. Like Rolling Stone does unbelievable journalism. It is fantastic. So combine this with this war criminal goat sketch on the Daily Show. Do yourself a favor. Go watch the war criminal goat argument. It is fucking tremendous. But he does have 3 to 4 million dead on his record. That if you kill somebody in your town, it's a big fucking deal. You go to prison. You kill 3 or 4 million for the state, you're celebrated. It's conceptually bizarre.
It's work. He's working up. I don't know if you all were aware of this, but Harry and Henry were both investors in Theranos.
Yeah. Henry and Harry, the twins, the Kissinger twins.
Yeah, the Kissinger twins. You don't see him here. He's
the other one.
Not there, but they were involved with Theranos. And here's the interesting thing: is that he said that she was a genius. So as soon as he said that, I said, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I'll say this about him. If you read this article, he's beloved by both sides of the aisle. Clinton, both Bill and Hillary, big fans. Obama was a big fan. The Bushes were big fans. I'm guessing, I don't know Trump's opinion. Something tells me he's a big fan. Putin loves him. I mean, for a guy that murdered 4 million people, he's certainly universally beloved, which is very difficult to do. I think.
If he's loved that much by both sides, that means he's diplomatic, right?
Yeah, you know who I don't think loves him, though, is the 4 million people he killed and also their friends and family. If I had to go out on a...
Maybe, that's a good point. Well, here's a question I have before we can even really get into this, and we certainly can't ask Denise until we know 2 things. One, what does Ja Rule think? That's paramount.
I don't know. And I always forget to ask Ja Rule like a fucking idiot.
And were him and Epstein friends?
You know what?
He on Epstein Island discussing killing people? Because this suit, I got to tell you, this suit is interesting. I've never seen that at Men's Warehouse. I have yet to see that one.
You know, it's disgusting.
The little guy's wearing.
Yeah, if he did go to Pedophile Island, that would be the largest age gap in Pedophile Island history. I think he would set another record, don't you think? Too soon for that. He's dead. I don't know that he's a pedophile.
I got to be honest. Everybody here looks really uncomfortable, right?
I don't know. I think Putin. I think certainly Harry. What's his name? Robin? Steve?
Ricky? It was Ricky, right?
Jimmy. Jimmy Kissinger looks uncomfortable, but Putin looks enthralled.
But he's like,
no, he's like sitting back. Yeah.
Look at this guy. He's going, how do I kill 4 million people? I've killed what, a couple million? I'm a fucking amateur hour over here in Russia. All right. I just got to say, again, I'm woefully ignorant when it comes to his war crimes. I do want to buy a book or watch a documentary. He seems fascinating. He seems like a big giant piece of shit, but it does seem fascinating.
Well, I mean, he
seems like a real nice guy.
Oh, okay. Thank you for bringing that up. So all these people, karma's going to get you. Karma's not real. There's no God. He killed 4 million people and he lived to 100. Where's the fucking karma in this? There is no karma. The world is chaos. Just so you know, it's chaos.
Yeah. It's a shit show covered in an enigma.
That's right. Wrapped in a riddle. In a burrito.
And every day we still live it every day willingly.
Well, I'm here out of protest. I'm living out of spite.
And we know you're not living to 100.
Fucking right. If I do, I'm going to be livid. We talked about this in the green room. Did you see Jimmy Carter at his wife's funeral? He looks like a corpse. Who wants to live to 100? No, you don't.
But I got a question. I do have a question, and Robin and I have some experience in this. I'm not going to go down memory lane.
Oh, we do.
But I've never heard of anyone other than one other person that Robin and I were aware of that has gone to hospice and come out
Whoa, somebody went to hospice and came out?
I've never heard Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
He's been in hospice now for like 6 or 7. I'm not making this up. He's been in hospice for long. His wife went into it and died. He's been put away for a while. And
Jimmy Carter's beating hospice? No one beats hospice.
Yeah, I'm serious. Well, actually, Robin and I knew a guy who beat it 3 times.
We do know another person who was a client. It's funny.
What?
I swear to you, Jimmy Carter was in. He's Jimmy Carter, America's Glimpse at Frailty and His Resolve.
Oh my God.
Oh no, it said 164 miles. I thought it said he was 164. But basically, it basically says Jimmy Carter emerges from hospice care for her memorial service.
Good for him.
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, God bless him. I'm just saying though, like that is right.
Well, here's a nice segue. You know who's not going to get the opportunity to go to hospice? Gays in Russia. Robin, serve it up. What's going on?
Yeah. Okay, so you could be born in a lot of different places in the world, and you'd be predisposed to have a very difficult life. Yes. So adding to that list is very unfortunate. Is now being born gay in Russia. That's correct.
Bad.
So I never thought I'd be reading this sentence, but the Russian court has banned the LGBT public movement because they say it is endangering their Russian traditionality. So this is verbatim from someone in the Russian court. We are already battling with the West. Their battle with LGBT people fits in with this anti-Western rhetoric. So it's kind of a gray area. You don't really get arrested for being gay. You just can't express being gay. So the rainbow flag is banned. Any activism is banned. Any gay symbolism or celebration of pride is banned. And any word to push for LGBT rights, you're looking at 5 to 15 years in prison.
Yeah, so not only banned, but it's illegal. I'll tell you this, man. There's like a trope where people go, I don't care if my kid's gay. I would prefer they not to be, only because life is so hard when you're gay. And that's sort of, I think, overdone, but it's objectively true. Look at, these people are risking their lives. Whoever did this to Putin's face, the balls it fucking takes to not only do it, to go out in public where it's not banned, it's illegal. They're going to send you to fucking Siberia for this.
Yeah, I was going to say, Vlad really took it to the next level with this rendition. Is that a Banksy?
He did. This was the makeup for Kissinger's funeral. It's nice. Okay, help me out. So it's
done something with his hair.
Well, there's not much to do. I know. Yeah. It's not very fabulous. Robin, you live in the East. Do you see gay sex as a Western problem? I mean, you guys have gays over there, don't you?
We do. They're still pushing for gay rights here, but it's much more socially acceptable as compared to Russia. Like, people here, if you're gay, they don't feel the need to really hide.
But gay marriage isn't legal there, though, is it?
It's not. But you can have celebrations of gay marriage.
You can have a parade.
You can, and you have to get married outside of the country and then come back to the Philippines, but you could still be technically considered married.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this on the show 8,000 times. We can detect black holes 55 million light years away. We still care who's fucking who. Why? Why do we care who is fucking who and what kind of sex they're having?
It's the only thing that matters.
It's the only, we have to get to the bottom of gay sex. Here's the great thing about gay sex, and I've never had it personally, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's an option. You know what I mean? It's not like these people are knocking on your doors going, hey, listen, we're going to have some gay sex. You're like, no, not again. It's Christmas.
It's the gay sex police.
Right? There's not the gay sex police. They just want to be gay and get married. Why is that a fucking problem? I don't understand.
By the way, this has been going on for well before we were even civilization. I mean, since the birth of a human, there has been gay stories of gay relationships.
Since Henry Kissinger wore sandals.
Well, he was 100 years old.
Jimmy Kissinger.
That was good.
Who let him on the ark?
Oh my God, I just don't fucking understand it. So here's the other thing. The Russian government had the audacity to call the LGBT community extremist. Meanwhile, if you read this, they had a hearing where nobody was there. It was a fake organization that banned the LGBT movement. To me, that sounds like an extremist organization. When you just creating government, it sounds a lot like Russia. One of their biggest problems, they say throughout this, is that the problem with the LGBT community is that it's bad for traditional family values. But you're never going to believe this. Guess which country has the most divorces on the fucking planet? So don't preach to me about traditional family values when you can't stop getting divorced. And I'm no kid doctor, but if you look at any statistics, divorce is the worst thing you can do to a child. Now, listen, it bears out that people that come from 2-parent households make more money. They're in jail less often. They get divorced less. I'm not passing judgment. What I'm saying is, statistically speaking, it's a better situation. So that to me would be something that the Russians would embrace, but they don't. So they're hypocrites across the board. Fuck them. I think we should go to war with Russia. Not me. Maybe you, Robin. You're of age. You're of war age.
Send some Filipinos. We'll take care of it.
I feel like with this story on Russia, though, I'm kind of wrapping my head around it. And I'm saying to myself, I just feel like maybe Russia has run out of things they have to focus on.
Well, they're suspecting that they're doing this as sort of a, hey, look over here, the gays, while they're doing a unlawful war crime against Ukraine. What do you think about that?
We know they're doing war crimes, but I guess my concern is that where I'm a little bit concerned, and I would ask Vlad this if I had a moment with him, is how in the hell you guys still ain't beat up a third world country?
Yeah, they're talking
about you coming over here. We'll be rid of you with the National Guard within 40 minutes, lad.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they actually, if you talk to my husband, who is German, so he was in the German army before I met him. And he said the problem with the Russian army is they're taught that everything is, they're taught how to do everything from the way they think to every little aspect of everything that they do. So when they're out in a war zone, they have to actually think for themselves, and they don't know how to do that. So that is why they're failing at winning the war, because they are not taught how to think for themselves. They're taught how to do and act and react the way that the government wants them to. And therefore they're kind of at a loss.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that, but what I do know, historically speaking, is that it's very hard to invade a country, especially today. Afghanistan beat the Soviet Russians. Afghanistan beat us. The reason is we're invading them. And there's no it's not like World War II. We were bombed and we had a sense of patriotism and holy shit, we need to stop communism or they're going to kill our wives and our children. When you convince these Russians who just had day jobs a week ago that you have to go kill Ukrainians for no particular reason, you're not going to win that war. And that's the reason they haven't. I think. I'm no military strategist. I'm a child doctor. Anyway,
military doctor.
I'm no military doctor. But speaking of gay, let's talk about NFTs. Because gays and
NFT gays.
Is this the Bored Ape Club?
This
It is
some of my finest work, I think. All right, good.
So this story is about rich celebrities being exposed and punished for their actions for exploiting the gullibility of their fans and the public. So before you guys get crazy over this, because I know your stance on NFTs, let me name the guilty. The list goes Tom Brady, Gisele Bündchen, Kim Kardashian, Floyd Mayweather, Jimmy Fallon, Logan Paul, and the top of the list with a $1 billion lawsuit, and he's actually the most followed person on all social media, Cristiano Ronaldo.
How can you sue this man for $1 billion? Look at him; he's gorgeous. Oh,
I didn't like what I heard in there. Did I hear Tom's name?
Yeah,
I did not like hearing Tom's name. They got to get Tom. Tom don't do no wrong.
I think they're going after the sexy people. This is outrageous. How dare you?
Leave him out of it.
I don't even know who this guy is.
You don't know who? Whoa! You don't know who this guy is?
No.
That's Tomcat Brady.
You've never heard of the greatest football player in the history of
organized
sports?
I know his name, but I didn't know what he looked like.
You know what he looked like when he got drafted? Look at that! Look at that beefcake. Here, this should tell you what money can do for you. This is poor Tom Brady. This is rich Tom Brady. Poor Tom Brady, rich Tom Brady.
I'm seeing a difference here.
Yeah, look at
this. Robin? No, this is Robin. Is this Robin?
Yeah, that's me.
That's Robin. There he is.
You look great. You must stay away from carbs. You look very good.
He hasn't had a carb since '96.
That's a long time. You must be so hungry. Luckily, you live in a third world nation. The thing that I don't understand about this is they're suing all of these celebrities for pimping NFTs. But if a fucking dumb celebrity sells you a dumb product and you're dumb enough to buy it, I have zero sympathy for you. They're saying it's different than like if you bought a defective George Foreman grill because it has to do with finance and there's some loopholes and blah blah blah. I don't see outside of the law. I don't see a fucking difference. Kim Kardashian sells you some shitty perfume, then fucking you bought some shitty perfume. If you're taking financial advice from this guy and it goes south, it's your fault. Take some personal fucking responsibility. Does he look like a financial advisor to you?
Well, you know what? Let me stop you there because I have another one for you. Yeah. Here's one. Out of that list that Robin went through, maybe I would listen to Cristiano. I definitely listen to Tomcat. But you know who I absolutely under no circumstances would ever listen to? Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather.
He can barely read.
What about
who
Jimmy
in the
Fallon?
world? No, Jimmy Fallon, like
Kim Kardashian. How is that?
Isn't she a lawyer now? Like I don't even like. They were like Kim Kardashian's a lawyer. How is this possible?
No way.
Get out of here. Yeah, she's doing law. I don't know what kind.
Isn't his middle name Money though? Or is that?
Yeah, Yeah,
Floyd
Money Mayweather. Yeah, that's him.
That's his birth middle name. That's nothing. My first name's America's Sweetheart. It's fucking crazy over here in the United States.
It's wild.
I think this plays into the hot crazy scale. If you're too hot, you're probably crazy. If you're this hot, you don't know anything about money. You've made a lot of money, but you think he can do math. You think this guy can do fucking algebra, and you're gonna take financial advice from him? Then you're an idiot. One more thing though, this makes me so happy because I think every NFT is worthless. Look at this, multiple 95% down. The vast majority of NFTs are worthless. Boy,
we had a guy on the show a couple of weeks ago. Didn't he have an NFT sold for $400K?
Yes. Wow. Well, that's the thing. If you did it right in the middle, if you bought it low and sold high to one of these idiots, then it's worth a lot of money. But if you held on to it thinking that it was going to retire you and your children,
you know what he should have done? This is what he should have done. He should write a book called "How I Sold an NFT for $400,000."
Yeah, he's a fucking genius. He might be the smartest person I know. You know why? He took financial advice from Thomas Brady. This guy.
Denise, you know what sunk the NFT market? And me and Eric and Robin actually uncovered this last week, but you know what sunk it? And I don't think anybody saw it coming. And I wouldn't have made this mistake because I'm a little bit smarter than they are. But I think the real downfall in that entire market was they forgot that we had that we could just take a screenshot. They were unaware of the technology. They didn't know. They were like, "Oh my god, so I can screenshot this thing." And then it was like it's lights out because. Like, give me an example. Somebody said, "I own this NFT for $40,000. Now I own it."
Yeah, now we all own it. He gave me a copy.
What are you gonna do?
Everyone owns it now. I'm gonna put it on my wall. What are you gonna do about it?
You can't do anything about it.
No. God bless him.
Do you want to do climate change? We only have time for one more. Climate change or Elon? I want to do Elon. All right, serve it up.
I've heard enough about climate change.
Yeah.
This article is both very amusing and confusing at the same time. So it's titled Elon Musk apologized for anti-Semitic tweets, but also tells advertisers to go F themselves. So Elon's been trying to make this X platform about free speech, and he made some tweets pertaining to the war in Gaza, I'm imagining. And I could ramble on about everything he said, but the gist of it is he's against genocide as a whole. Now, because Elon isn't totally a sellout and he doesn't support Israel blindly like the rest of the big boys, he's been labeled as anti-Semitic, and all the advertising companies have pulled out. So during an interview about these tweets and the advertising companies that pulled out for X for this reason, he told them to F themselves, and especially to Disney CEO Bob Iger. So he was in the audience, so especially Bob Iger.
Which one's Elon?
So this, do you know who he is? This is Linda Yaccarino.
Yeah,
is
that's
that her
his
name?
CEO. Yeah,
she was hired.
She literally looks like him now. Wow.
Oh yeah. So she was. I didn't notice that until you said it, but yeah, I think they're the same person. But she was hired back to. She was hired to get advertisers back. So she's sitting there with him when he says this. In pertinence to Bob Iger, I don't want them to advertise. He said, if someone is going to blackmail me with advertising or money, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience, that's how I feel. He had it as a reference to Disney CEO Bob Iger.
I love it. That's funny. I love it. God bless you,
Elon. On this man.
He's got balls, but Jesus, he bought Twitter for $44 billion. They're speculating that it might only be worth $4 billion now. Had he done nothing, I can't imagine that he would have lost $40 billion. So he's like almost purposefully driving this thing into the ground. And Rodney, you set it off, like, to have that sort of power, I'm sure is appealing, but I don't think losing $40 billion is necessarily appealing.
No, not, it wouldn't be for me. But the other thing I think that people haven't looked at is that it's not his money. It's OPM. It's other people's money.
That's true. It's not like liquid. It's not like his bank is down or his bank account's down $40 billion. But he has gone like full crazy. So what began as an apology over anti-Semitic tweets turned into a meandering conversation about childhood trauma, aliens, cell phones in people's heads, and using X in the bathroom.
Hey, wait. When did they talk about aliens? They talked about aliens.
I guess so. A good portion of the
room. Do you have the
out.
clip?
Unfortunately, I don't have the clip of the meandering Elon Musk. Our has to be so amazing just to just be able to say whatever the fuck you want to say, do whatever the fuck you want to do, and he's doing it.
I mean, you got to respect the man for that. He does whatever the hell he wants to do, and he gets away with everything.
God damn it! I wish I invented PayPal. It's the one thing holding me back. Total lack of good ideas and talent.
We have the ideas. We just don't like. I said a long time ago. I think it would be great if somebody could go pick up my food and bring it to me. That's where it stopped. You know what I mean?
It was the problem was the execution in the
when I used to live in Manhattan, I used to say to myself all the time, wouldn't it be great if I didn't have to rely on these yellow cabs or take the subway and get accosted and murdered?
Yep.
What if I could take someone else's car? Because, you know, I don't know if you know or not, but black cars were illegal in New York for a long time.
I don't know that.
Really?
Like you couldn't hail one. Yeah, I was hailing one time and the cop goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to get a ride. Officer, what's the story? He's like, you can't hail a black car. If you get in that car, you're getting a ticket. And I was like, is this guy serious? He was serious.
This may be an obvious point, but I heard one of the major things that made Uber such a success was the map with the car that shows how far away it is, because they say humans hate ambiguity. And that's why, like, when you go to a train station, they show you 5 minutes till it arrives, or at the airport, they show you exactly. We hated taxis being ambiguous as to when they were going to show up. But once you showed us a little thing with the car coming, it didn't matter if it was 15 minutes away. We knew it was 15 minutes away, so we were happy.
And we saw the progress. I'm that way with my food. I'm like, where is he doing in there? Get the sauce and get out.
Yes, progress. Okay, look, it's the evening gown portion of the evening. Oh my God, Denise, welcome to the show.
We made it.
Ready.
Thank you.
I can't believe. Yeah. Do you want to give us a little bio? I mean, I've done some research, but for the rest of the people, the rest of these idiots out here watching this show.
So
yeah,
wait, what is your research?
I watched a bunch of your videos on LinkedIn. I listened to a podcast. You were on a fucking podcast on YouTube that has 16,000 views. Do you know that?
I did not know that it had that many views. Look
You
at
know
that.
what
Your
I'm
research is
I've
better
watched a
than
lot
what
of
I
your
could
videos.
share.
I've watched a lot of your videos on LinkedIn. They are good.
Well, you're a top LinkedIn voice, God damn it. You're
Yeah.
a big catch here today.
What's your favorite song to do?
My favorite song right now? It's a
Oh, is it a different voice, Eric?
Different
I just
voice.
want a different. Okay,
It's a
I'm sorry. I
sales
thought he was
voice,
talking
Rodney.
about
It's a sales
I'm
voice.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, so he's easily confused. Okay. Do you want to give us a little bio?
Yeah, quick, short one. I have been in sales for over 30 years. I started my own business last year. So now I offer a Celevators program, which is helping organizations adapt to AI technologies, because I think that we need those for efficiency gains. But once you have those efficiency gains, pivoting and focusing on the human aspect of the sales process. So how do you do better closes? How do you create mutual the interest trackers? How do you build relationships? Because I don't know about you, but everyone has lost the ability to carry on normal conversations and to build relationships in this day and age. So that's really what I do. And I'm also with this human first, being human aspect of the sales process. I'm also helping to launch a human first organization on collaboration, co-creating, and really just getting back to engaging with humans in the way that we should be.
Okay. Can we talk about the lack of the ability to carry and hold a conversation? Why do you think that is? And do you think it's generational?
Well, I think some of it is, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but my gut tells me it is because some of it is generational, but it's because of COVID, and out of COVID was the digital age came about. And now everything that we do is digitalized. And I don't think that people, they stand behind or sit behind their computer, and they don't really get out in front of everyone as well. So it's easy to carry on a conversation by Zoom, but it is hard to carry on a one-on-one conversation when you're sitting next to someone on a train who has no ability to actually communicate except when they are prompted to in a Zoom meeting. Just my 2 cents.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. There's a theory I have. Have you heard of simulation theory? That we're stuck in one giant simulator. Okay, so the thing, so instead of real life,
conspiracy theory.
It's a conspiracy theory.
No, it's a fact. We heard it on Fox.
It was a conspiracy theory, but then we saw
it's a conspiracy theory for sure. Sorry.
Yeah. So the story goes that we're living inside a simulation, right? And then they go, well, fuck, the computing power would be astronomical. So there's no way that everything is actually real. So have you ever played a video game and there's things that you can't interact with? They're called non-playable characters. It's my theory that all these people that can't have a conversation are non-playable characters. They're not real. They don't have souls. They're just machines. That has to be the explanation, because otherwise we're all humans. Don't we all want to fucking like have friends and get laid? What's with these people that can't have a conversation? They're fucking weird, aren't they?
I don't know, but we've got a lot of weirdness going on. I mean, I don't know how many times now, on one hand, I have recently counted how many narcissists I've encountered. And before, I don't feel like they were even really around, or I didn't know them. Maybe I was clueless as to what a narcissist was, but I feel like we've got some really crazy, weird people these days.
Does it feel
Are you talking about here on the show or in general? Just to understand
going on.
Is it weird being in a box with 3 narcissists?
She's inside of our heads.
The 3 of us thought the exact same.
I know. I was like, why is she talking shit about us on our show?
I was thinking. She doesn't like us anymore.
Wow, that was a really not veiled insult. Yeah, I don't think narcissism is all that bad, only because listen, if you don't love yourself, who's going to? That's why I buy 2-ply toilet paper. You know, you got to treat yourself nice.
Yeah.
I drink.
Yeah.
Don't you think it all starts with self-love?
It does start with self-love.
I also think too, and don't you agree with this, right? Because I've been in sales my entire life, and Erica, I fashion to say that you're a salesman. Robin, I know you've sold things and sell things, but I find oftentimes that some people, shouldn't say all, that are in sales, they don't belong in sales. Like, for example, every time I've ever worked in an organization where I had to sell things, which is what I've always done, I immediately got to the business of selling. For example, I wasn't interested in the rules and the regulations and I don't care about any of that stuff. One of the assistants will take care of it, figure it out, take care of it for me, right? Where's the phone and the computer, and what do we sell here, right? How does this stuff work? And I find that, you know, in my past jobs when I would be successful, that the people that weren't successful were the ones always reading the rules and being like, why can't I get any leads? Get on the phone, email people. You know what I mean? And I remember this one guy, he was always taking classes and he said to me one day, you know, I said, you need to stop with the classes, stop them and get on the phone. You know what I mean? And that's, you don't have to get on the phone. You can use email, whatever it is. I'm just saying, right? You have to talk to them. You cannot sell things if you cannot communicate.
Right. It's like you could read about how to catch a baseball for pages upon pages, thousands, but until I throw one at your fucking head, you're not going to be able to do it. So you got to.
You're certainly not.
Yeah,
that's right.
Our relationship expert friend who was on the show, Erica Angelo, her pervasive theory is that the reason people don't like to have these conversations or avoid them or avoid conversations in general is the fear of rejection. And I think that's why people don't like to get on the phone or email, because somebody might treat you badly or not like you, and that's scary. Maybe we coddled too many people, and they're afraid of everything, including having a conversation. I don't know.
I agree, and it's a lot more prevalent in my generation. I'd admit that as well.
Yeah. Well, I think. Well, first of all, Alethea here, she's going to send you her resume. She was on the show. I'll send you her episode. She's a people person.
She
also,
is.
She likes the show. So how bad she could be. Is she?
And she likes pickleball. So
she likes the show. She likes.
And
pickleball.
She's the sister of one of my favorite people. So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Oh my God. So. Anyway, yeah. You guys want to negotiate salary here live on the show? That'd be fun.
How much for Robin? How much for Robin?
I didn't think I'd be auctioned off today.
Yeah, nice better. We're starting at $7. Robin, I have 8.
$8.50.
Now this is for a month.
Oh Jesus! I don't.
It lives with you.
$850.
Yeah, I don't have
$8.50, and he comes and lives with you. He doesn't
have that kind of clam. I'll feed him a red apple and a green apple. That's what he's used to.
Hey, happy overseas Filipino month.
Exactly.
Overseas Filipino month. Hold on, I have more questions. Oh, a top voice. How do you become a top voice? How do I become a top voice? How'd you become a top voice? What's a top voice?
I don't actually really know, and I don't know if it's really cool, but I got it, and so I put it on my LinkedIn thing. Interestingly enough, there was a top voice once I got the designation. There was this thing where they went around the country. They had 3 different places that you could actually attend, and they would have LinkedIn people and other top voice people there. I submitted to be at the event. I didn't actually get to go to the event. What? I didn't even get any engagement. So I was waitlisted, and I immediately, as soon as I got it, I went in and applied. I was waitlisted, didn't get an option to pick another city. No correspondence to tell me I didn't get it. Just that, sorry.
And where are you at, Denise? Where are you located?
I'm in Houston, Texas.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
I submitted for the New York one because I love New York.
So you were just posting a lot. You have a lot of videos. You were pretty active on.
So it's content you need. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm trying to figure that out. Is that what it is?
You do have to just engage a lot on the, just you have to engage a lot. You have to be very active, and you also have to engage in their what are those stories called? Those AI stories,
the collaborative stories.
Yes,
yeah. I spend an hour a week. Let me just give you my little thing here. Because I'm on a journey to help Eric build his brand, and I have found that LinkedIn takes about 10 hours. I forget about the show. Just what I do takes about 10 hours a week. It never ends.
It never ends.
Like some people are like, I'm on Facebook all the time, right? Or I'm on this or Instagram. I'm always on LinkedIn. I'm always on there. I'm either posting, liking. I spent 2 hours yesterday commenting on other people's stuff. I don't even know these people, but they comment on my stuff. So
yeah, and you have 9,000. You have 9 times the amount of followers I have. So you're doing it right. It's just so much work, isn't it? So Denise,
it's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Well, I've actually taken a little bit of a hiatus because I've been working on an event that I'm doing. And so and you should be working harder on LinkedIn, but I mean, there are only so many hours in a day.
Yeah, so,
you could easily get sucked into the LinkedIn funnel that, where you'd spend 4 or 5 hours and then what the hell you got left to do? I mean, you've got a shitload of stuff still to do and you spend all your time in LinkedIn. So I've kind of taken a little bit of a backseat for a bit of time.
I mean, I have a million problems with LinkedIn. One of which is that nothing's funny except for their show. Their show's hilarious. The other thing that keeps happening is middle-aged white men rap about business. Have you seen this fucking phenomenon? I just saw another one the other day.
It's a lot.
Yeah. What compels middle-aged white guys to rap about B2B sales? What the
are they good though?
Did you really? Is that a real question?
You guys haven't seen mine yet. We're finishing up the album. Kanye, 4 more tracks. Load them up. The first one starts out with, how do you consult?
Oh my God. Right? I'm going to say, we're going to have what's that?
Now, here's what it's called. Let me just say this there, since we're on the subject of it. You know what mine's called? Straight out of Salesforce.
Oh, that sounds incredible. Is Ja on it? Did you get Ja?
Well, you know what? On the very beginning, he goes, murder! And then that's all I could afford. That's all I could afford.
Thank God. All right. Enough about Ja Rule for the next 5 minutes. We'll get back to him. Denise, you said in one of your videos, you mentioned the what is your why? That's a Simon Sinek thing, right? So I assume you're a fan of old Simon, or no?
Actually, I have no idea if that's a Simon Sinek.
Oh yeah, he wrote a book called What is Your Why or some shit. I don't know. But the why is it's a business thing.
Everyone talks about it.
Everyone talks about it. What's your why?
Yeah, so it took me, I had an aha moment, and it's going to be kind of sappy, but my dad actually went through hospice last year at this time. So he died, and I did not have the best childhood. And so when I think about all of the relationships, I just turned 51 this year in November, and, I have gone through my life.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And it's always been about building relationships. And it's always been about, that's why I was so good in sales. The reality is people buy from people they like. And while that may sound like a bunch of bullshit, it's the truth. You have to build credibility, but I've always sought out being a better person and building relationships and really focusing on the human connection. And I realized that it was because I didn't really get that as a child. And so it is a bit sappy, I know, but that was really, I think, the reason why I've always focused on the human first and the human connection and the human experience. It's because I didn't really have a great one as a kid. So this is my way that I've always sought it out. And now I can share how to do that with others.
I saw that video too, where you mentioned that. I was like, I should ask that question. And then the more I drank, I was like, I probably shouldn't ask that question. Nobody wants to talk about a sad childhood, do they?
It was sad. Sorry.
That's all right. The point is that Straight Out of Salesforce was a great.
Everybody likes that one. That's the debut album.
Likes the sappy story.
The second, the follow-up album is Late for LinkedIn. It's, you know what else? Can I just say one thing about LinkedIn? And I love LinkedIn, but I always find it interesting when people are like, "Do you want to come to my virtual happy hour at 5 on a Friday?"
No.
The
last thing I want to do is hang out with people from LinkedIn on Friday. I can't. This harkens back. Thank you for bringing this up to these things like, oh, you need to build a community if you're a B2B. But I do not want to be in a B2B community. I have real friends. I have a wife. I have kids. I have a girlfriend. I have a drinking problem. I have diabetes. I have high cholesterol. I can't afford to be in the fucking community. How many friends do I fucking need? And which leads me to this, Denise. You're big on authenticity as well, right?
Yes.
What does it mean for a business to be authentic? Because I still don't understand this. From my perspective, like I use this example, StreamYard. I don't care if they're authentic. They give me this thing. It fucking works. Here's my $10 a month. Bada bingo, bada bango. So
Well,
where
I
does
mean, I
authenticity come in?
can't speak to a large corporation because that's all about branding, and I'm not a branding expert. But what I can say is, from each person represents the business, and as an individual, you have to be authentic, because in the end, while they are doing business with a company, they sign the bottom line because of the engagement that they have with you, because of the experience. I mean,
Because you're the company to them.
exactly. And the reality is, these days, at the fingertips, every buyer has the ability to do all of their research. By the time they come to a vendor, they've already down selected to their top 3. They already know their shit. And all you have to do is now confirm what they've already researched. Then what they're going to look for is the experience aspect. What is it like to do business with you, with the company? What's it like to have the experience with the product? They're going to narrow it down based on their experience now. So you represent the company.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No, that makes sense. I think what's weird too is the total inauthenticity of things like customer service representatives. You know, you call these places and they just read off a script and you're like, "Would you just fucking talk to me like a normal person?" Instead of, "Hello, thank you for giving me that information, Eric." And then they just keep repeating the script. Like, why do businesses preach one thing and then do the exact opposite all the fucking time? I don't know.
Because they don't want to spend the time to actually train their individuals, or maybe seek out the right individual for that role, right? Because it does take a special person who can be what I would call audible ready, and there just aren't people who want to do that.
That's a good one.
Audible
you know what
ready?
I always do when they do that? The way to get them sorted is you do different accents. So you start out as maybe an English fella, and then when they come back, you go, "Is you a riverboat captain?" And they're like, "Oops." You know,
it's hilarious to watch it's hilarious to listen to my husband, because he does just that, Rodney. And he's German, right? So he's got this really strong accent, and he'll get on the phone and he'll tell his whole life story, which isn't a true story, by the way, but he'll just start telling these stories, make this guy feel sorry for him. Then he'll start saying that he doesn't understand the language, and then he'll start going off and speaking the German language because he can't, because his accent's so strong anyway, and he doesn't want to talk to the guy. So he'd really and the guys just sit on the other end, eventually just hang up.
That's great. Yeah.
So your husband's German, like actually German?
Like he moved over here for me. Yes.
Oh, whoa, look at you.
Very
you got one of them. Does he always go 9? That's no, isn't
it? That is no.
Germans, very stoic people, aren't they? In general?
Yes.
No emotions, big and strong. Yeah.
Yes. So my first language was German. My mom is German. And I picked up and moved to Germany in my 30s for about a year. And it was really hard because they're not as personable in general. No. They're great people, super nice. And, they're rule followers. You know what to get when you know what to expect when you meet them. But they're just not super personable. And I'm a hugger. Like I want to, I'm kind of that crazy one, right? That people kind of probably shy away from.
That's what we had to tell Robin to stop doing. He kept hugging everybody. And we said, "Robin, please."
It was awkward for the first
one
few
lawsuit.
Months,
the lawsuits got on the end. And the other thing I want to say is I just want to say I agree with authenticity, because Robin was thinking about starting a sales training program, and he said, "Why don't we lead with lying?" And I said, that's not the right way, Robin. It's not the right. So now you see, Robin, it's confirmed.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say, Robin, I don't mind the hugs, but when your hands slide down and start cupping the asses, that's just.
Oh,
do you think it was from the picture you showed yesterday?
What was the picture yesterday? I missed it.
Maybe it's a fighting technique he's learned.
It's a fighting. Oh, there's an ancient Swiss technique. I'll pull it up when we end this.
That maneuver, I totally forgot.
Yeah, it's effective.
It's ingrained in our memory.
It'll never leave. I'm getting it tattooed later this afternoon. My parents lived in Heidelberg for 2 years because my father was in the army. And Germans are beautiful people. They're very well dressed, but they don't smile. Like when you're walking down the street. No, Americans kind of like, hey, whatever. They're very stoic. So you know what the move is? You go, "We won the war," and that seems to like wake them up a little bit.
That one also works in New York City. I remember I used to walk to work, right? When you get off the subway and someone would be like, "Can you take our picture?" And I'd be like, "Are you on drugs? I'm on my way to work. Well, we're visiting. We're from Ohio. And we're just going to, I don't care. Bring your photographer. Figure it out, lady."
I got places to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The market opens.
Oh, boy. All right. From Germans to, all right. So you said in one of your videos, 95% of buyer decisions are made subconsciously.
Yes.
Do you believe that plays into you have to be likable, you have to hold a conversation? Because I think you need that part before you can sell anything. Right?
Yes. 100%. Yes. And buyers, I mean, if you think about it, and I'm sure Rodney, you can attest to this, if you think about all over the, the last 30 years even, so it wasn't just necessarily after COVID or this digital age that we're now in. I mean, for well over, and I've been in sales for over 30, it's always been about the connection that they've made. If they haven't had a great experience with you, they have a distaste and they don't want to do business. And it's hard for a new rep to come in and take over for someone that gave the company a bad name because of the experience they had with them.
I agree. We found in our business, we do PO and we're PO comparison service. And we find that a lot of times people will come to us, and this happens often. And not picking on a particular vendor, but they'll be like, we'll say we got a really great quote from such and such, right? And they'll say, well, we used them years ago, and we had an issue with somebody, and I'm like, but they're like $1 billion company, it can't, you know what I mean? And they're like, no, we had an issue, or I remember one lady one time was like, we had it. My father was sick, and he had an issue with that insurance company, and I was like, okay, and I was like, they're gonna save you. She's like, we're not using them. And the thing of it is that whatever issue she had, right now, that company's tainted. I agree. 100% right.
In her mind, he'll never go back.
Yeah, never.
All right. So a big part of what you do is AI focused, AI bound. Okay, let me ask you, should we be afraid of AI? Is it going to ruin capitalism as we know it? Capitalism.
So, I mean, it's Christmas time. I don't want to talk gloom and doom, but the reality is if we don't start to get more engaged and aware, the trajectory of AI is going in a direction that I would be afraid of. I mean, they're already developing transhumanism, which is, not only can robots think for their own, but they'll actually be able to feel. I mean, that's kind of freaky to me.
Has nobody seen Terminator or Terminator 2 or Terminator Genesis or the Terminator series? Nobody knows about
no one's seen it, I think. Well, here's the other question I have too, Eric. Here's another one. I saw a speech last week from Kamala Harris. It was pretty long. It was like 30 minutes. And she said in the speech that AI stood for artificial intelligence. Is that right?
But the sad thing is there are a bunch of people who, okay, maybe not that extreme, but there are a bunch of people who they think generative AI is really what AI is. And that's not the case.
Yeah, you're right.
The government has been leveraging AI for technologies that you would be crazy, just appalled at. It's just amazing how long we've been using it, what it's being used for, and that it is not about generative AI. It is so much greater and bigger than that.
Right.
Yeah, well, do you think AI is more or less dangerous if it has emotions?
It's probably more dangerous. Not even probably. It is more dangerous because then they are mimicking humans. And then what the hell do you need humans for? I mean, right now, today, AI cannot innovate and it cannot empathize. Those two things are super key in the success of humans as a race. When you start to give them the ability to do those two things, we're kind of screwed.
What you said, innovate and empathize, that sounds like us.
That's right.
Is it? You talking about us?
We're talking all about y'all. It's all about y'all.
The three narcissists? Is it about the three narcissists? Denise, I've said this on the show a million times too. Have you seen Avengers 2, Age of Ultron?
I have not. No.
Okay, what happens is Iron Man, Tony Stark, invents this killing machine robot, ostensibly to protect humanity from aliens. But what this machine does is it goes on the internet. 2 minutes later, it decides that all of humanity has to die. And then it tries to kill us. That's what's going to happen. As soon as these robots become self-aware, they're going to listen. We kill off the humans. We get to live forever. Every other species is going to thrive without these humans destroying the planet. I mean, there's no hopes. There's no hope.
We've got to make friends with the computer.
We have to.
Yeah, right now. I mean, it's not really as terrible as we're making it out in this conversation, but I do think we have to get more aware. We have to get more engaged, and we really have to understand that it's much more than just Chat GPT or Jasper or what other generative tools we're using. It's much larger and greater than that.
Yeah, and so a year ago, nobody was talking about this shit, and now it's fucking everywhere. So in 5 years, I think we're all going to die. So this is this is part of your LinkedIn profile page. What you're suggesting we do is use AI to sell more shit. Is that kind of the gist of the whole thing?
Well, you should use AI to leverage efficiencies. I mean, we all need to get better at our job. And because it is all on the human experience and the human connection, we got to spend more time focused on that than focused on all the shit that we can actually automate. And really, it's not even AI. You're really using automation and not AI specifically. There's
Thank you for saying that, because it is automation, and it bothers a friend of mine. Every time somebody says AI, he loses his mind. But it's not artificial intelligence yet. It's a very complicated algorithm. Like even ChatGPT just knows what word should follow the word previous because it has so much information, but it's not thinking for itself yet. Artificial intelligence implies thinking, emotions, multi-layered processes, and that's not where we are. But it's going to be where we are, and that's the scary part.
That is the scary part.
But right now, how should we be using? So you just think, so I guess what we're doing here is AI proof. You can't get 3 narcissists in a box, right? Yet with robots.
I don't think so. I hope not.
We're not going to fire the writers.
More scary. Y'all are scary enough. They put a robot behind it.
That would be horrifying, wouldn't it?
Scary stuff.
But you do video. We're doing video. I really think video is one of the last vestiges, because ChatGPT can write whatever the fuck you need it to write. There's going to be these animated videos. This thing just dropped the other day. It's like ChatGPT for video. You can create whatever videos you want that are animated. The human aspect is the last hope. We're doing it. You're doing it. Shouldn't everybody do it if there's half a personality?
Of course. But did you know that you can actually now find an avatar that looks exactly like you? So they have created an avatar that is a video, that can be on video, that can be fed everything such that it is speaking directly for you. That's pretty scary. But
they can't do this hair. They don't have the hair technology. This is the one thing you'll never.
They can't meet your hair technology.
They can't.
That's right.
They can't get the hairspray. They can't get their hands on the stuff.
as soon as they break into.
You know what I was also thinking too, though, and I'm just asking, right? Because we like to solve problems here. If AI becomes that powerful, and again, I'm just asking, can't we just unplug it? Is that an option or no? I mean, I'm just wondering, because people were like, you remember like in that one movie, they were like, how are we going to stop the bomb? And the guy's like, what if we unplug it? You know what I mean?
If I can harken back to Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, the problem is it went to the cloud. So they would destroy the Ultron body, and then he would go, and then he just fucking into another killing machine.
So then we just call North Korea and say, listen, it's your time to make amends with everybody. We need your best hackers. Yes. Show us what you did with Sony.
Shut off the cloud. How do you shut off the cloud? Can you shut
Kim Jong-un, shut it down.
I don't know if you could. But the other thing is you got a lot of crazies out there in the world, and everyone's got their hands on it now. And once it's in someone else's hands, you have no control over it. You can only control you, and you can only control what you can control, but you can't control everyone else.
Oh, we're fucked. We really are in the end game.
Yeah.
I reference this downhill. I reference this other book where they go, so every planet gets destroyed eventually, right? It implodes, it blows up, like something happens, something bad happens. So his point is the only way humanity is going to exist is if we do space travel. But space travel is expensive. You need food. We take shits. Like we need water. It's a whole fucking thing. So he goes, the only thing we can do is become cyborgs. It's just it. You're going to have to put our memories into a hard drive, become a machine, and then go off. But these machines are going to be hackable. Someone's going to hack my cyborg. Someone's going to hack cyborg America's sweetheart, Eric Ryan. And then that's not going to be me. I'm going to be a killing machine out there.
Now, when is this coming available at Tesla, you said?
2 years. It's the next feature, yes. You become one. You have to sleep with your Tesla, and then bada bingo, bada bingo. So we're screwed, I guess. Denise, that's what you're saying? Is an AI?
No, we're not screwed. It's not doom and gloom, and it is about to be Christmas. So we're going to work on the positive. But will it be our last Christmas?
That's right.
It's not. It's not.
Speaking of Christmas,
I'm living till I'm 100.
I'm not sure about
my plan. You haven't killed enough people.
If there was ever a time for Jesus to come back and straighten some shit out, wouldn't this be the Christmas to do it?
Yeah,
Jesus,
this would be the time.
Fucking go. Come on. All right. Well, listen, we almost killed the hour. So before we go, do you want to pitch your stuff? A little success with AI as opposed to death with AI. That's my website.
Yeah. So Success with AI is my company, but Salivators is my program. So if you are interested in learning how to better improve your sales processes, yes, leverage AI, but let's focus on the human connection. You can give me a call or connect with me on LinkedIn or go to my salivators.com website. Success with AI is great, but I need to work on fixing that one up a little. Nice. So sorry.
Hey, listen, you got a lot going on. You know why? Because you're a top voice when it comes to sales on LinkedIn. You get a lot on your plate. In these last 2 minutes, how do we fix humans? How can people be less shitty at talking to each other? Is there any advice? Like, stop being shitty and uninteresting. Is that good advice, or it has to be better?
Just be kind. I mean, think about how you want to be treated. It really boils down to just being a kind soul. And if you are a kind soul who puts others first and thinks of others, then you will get that reciprocated back. When you're kind, people want to have conversations with you. When you're kind, you are more welcoming, you're more animated, you're more interesting.
Yeah.
I just think
We're doomed, Eric.
Here's some of the kindest people I know. Elon Musk, a very kind man. He's and Tom Brady, very kind.
Look how long Tom's arms are. They're really long.
Oh yeah,
I do look long.
God.
That's a weird proportion.
His arms are long here too, though.
Yeah, no, I know they're almost as long as his legs.
That's a horrible picture.
Greatest athlete of all time. Look at him. Look at him. That's the year 2000. You guys remember the year 2000?
I do. I remember whenever they announced that he was going to be the quarterback in the Super Bowl, and it was Drew Bledsoe. He was the backup for Drew Bledsoe, and they were like, "Let's do a little game called the Brady Bunch." Yeah. And I remember watching him play, and I remember thinking to myself, "That guy's going to win the Super Bowl." And they were like, "He ain't going to win." He won.
I've watched. This is the championship DVDs right here. I've watched 8,000 times. Mo Lewis, a linebacker from the New York Jets, hit Drew Bledsoe so hard it severed a valve in his heart. Wow. He goes out. Tom Brady comes in, and the rest is history. In the AFC Championship game, Tom Brady gets rolled up on and hurts his ankle. Drew Bledsoe comes back, immediately throws a touchdown, and then sucks the rest of the game. But all we needed was that touchdown. And then in the Super Bowl, they were like, "Who's it going to be? Bledsoe or Brady? Brady or Bledsoe?" As it turns out, they went with the guy who went on to be the greatest quarterback of all time. Robin, isn't that a great story? Isn't that a great?
That is a great story. I'm glad you told me. Now I respect American football 10 times more.
And you know what happened? We are the Patriots. We wear red, white, and blue. You know what happened early in the season? 9/11. You know who won the Super Bowl? The fucking Patriots. That makes me think there might be a God too, right? Anyway. No, nobody cares about this but me. Anyway, we killed the hour. Denise, do me a favor. Stick around the green room so we can talk for a few minutes. Have a lovely weekend, America. Thank you for tuning in. What a great show. What a great show. We did great today, guys. The three narcissists and the Denise. Hey.